If you're confused about barcodes, FNSKUs, UPC codes, GS1, and all the other dozens of abbreviations, then you're not alone. In this video, I'll explain to you what each one means, what the requirements are for selling private label on Amazon, which codes you need and where to obtain them, and most importantly, what your options are. Stick around. What's up guys? Crescent here, and welcome back to my channel where I share with you the best tips and strategy videos, just like this one, on how to succeed with Amazon private labeling. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the two barcodes that cause the most confusion for everyone. The UPC barcode and the FNSKU barcode. Let's break down what the purpose of each one is so you can understand what they do and why the requirements are the way they are. Let's start with the UPC barcode. UPC stands for Universal Product Code. The UPC barcode predates Amazon and has been in use since 1974. Almost every manufactured product in the world has its own unique UPC barcode. For example, almost every item you find at Best Buy, Walmart, or Costco will have a UPC barcode on them. Even your local grocery store, such as a box of cereal, ice cream, or bread. Think of the UPC barcode as a unique name or DNA for each product line. For example, take me. No one else in the world has my DNA. My DNA would be my UPC barcode. If I cloned myself 1,000 times, then all of my clones would have the same DNA as me, which in turn, they would have the same UPC barcode. Everyone else in the world would have different DNA, thus different UPC barcodes. Make sense? Now, let's take the iPhone for example. Every iPhone line will have its own UPC barcode. Again, just like DNA, the black 128GB iPhone 7 from AT&T will have a different UPC code than the black 128GB iPhone 7 from Verizon. Why? Because although they may look physically the same, one is AT&T branded and the other is Verizon branded. Likewise, a gold 128GB iPhone 7 from AT&T will have its own UPC code than the black AT&T one, or the 7 versus the 7 Plus, and so on. Every color, variation, capacity, iPhone model, and courier combination will have its own UPC barcode. So, just like DNA, iPhones that are 100% clones of each other will have their own UPC barcode, whereas all the others will have different UPC barcodes. That's how the cashier knows what you bought and how much the item is when they scan it at the checkout counter. Have you noticed that sometimes when you buy more than one of the same item, the cashier won't actually scan all the items? They only scan one of them and then just multiply it by however many you bought? That's because those items have the same barcode. You with me so far? Now, some products may not have UPC barcodes. Products such as produce, like apples and bananas in the produce aisle, or handmade crafts, or bundles, or private label products. Okay, so what does this have to do with your products and selling on Amazon? Well, if you're doing private label products, Amazon requires that your products have their own UPC code. Why? Because like I said earlier, your product is unique. No one else in the entire world will be selling your exact product because you'll be private labeling. Your product has your own brand and logo on it. For example, if you're selling a garlic press, even if someone else is selling the exact same garlic press, theirs will be different than yours in that yours will have your brand and your logo on the garlic press, making it different. It's important that you private label in this way to protect yourself from hijackers, but that's a different topic. So where do you buy a UPC barcode? Here's where you'll find different answers depending on who you ask, and in my opinion, it's based on how one interprets the Amazon UPC barcode policy. You can see here that Amazon verifies that all UPC codes must match the information in the GS1 database. In my opinion, based on my interpretation, what Amazon means is they check to make sure the UPC code is real by looking for a match in the GS1 database. By matching the UPC barcode with the GS1 database, it proves that the barcode is real. Nowhere does it say that the information in the GS1 database needs to match your Amazon seller account or your product information. That's where you'll find differences of opinion. The reason Amazon checks the authenticity is to prevent people from using fake or previously used UPC barcodes. It's easy to make up your own UPC barcode. There's websites that will generate random barcodes for you. This is why I never recommend buying UPC barcodes from places like eBay. There's no guarantee that the codes are real or if they've been previously used. Always buy directly from GS1 or from authorized resellers like Nationwide Barcode or Barcodes Mania. Now, there are two areas of confusion, so pay careful attention here. First, people often get confused on how many barcodes to buy. If you're ordering 1,000 units of garlic presses, you don't need 1,000 barcodes. You only need one. Remember, they all have the same DNA. They're all clones of each other. They're all the same garlic press, so they all fall under the same barcode. Now, if you had a second garlic press that's a different color, for example, then you'd need two barcodes, one for each color, because the DNA is different. Alright, the second area of confusion. The UPC code doesn't actually go on your product. It's the FNSKU that's required to go on each unit. So what's an FNSKU and where do you get that? The FNSKU stands for Fulfillment Network SKU. It's Amazon's internal method of keeping track of all the individual products in its marketplace. Every product line has its own FNSKU, just like UPC barcodes. They work exactly the same except the FNSKU is only recognized by Amazon, whereas the UPC barcodes are recognized worldwide. To get the FNSKU for your product, you need to convert the UPC barcode you bought into an FNSKU when you're creating your item listing in Seller Central. When you create your listing, in the product ID field, choose UPC and put the UPC barcode number here. Now you can throw away the UPC barcode. You'll never need it again. Make sure to select Fulfill by Amazon, and now you can print the item labels from your inventory page. These are the FNSKU labels, and this is what needs to go on each one of your units. Now, there are several sizes and formats you can choose from. Choose the one that suits your needs. You can apply the FNSKU label as a sticker, or you can incorporate it into your custom package design. Negotiate with your supplier to see what options they offer. You can do it yourself too if you ship the product yourself, or you can have Amazon do it for you for 20 cents a unit. Again, if you have different variations, such as sizes or colors, then you'll need a separate UPC code and FNSKU for each variation. Okay, so now I hope you understand what a UPC barcode is and what an FNSKU barcode is, and the difference between them and where you need to apply them on Amazon. There's one last thing I want to mention, which you may have heard people say when the topic of UPC codes comes up, and that's the G10 exemption. You can apply for a G10 exemption on Amazon to avoid having to get a UPC code for your product. The process is actually quite simple. If you're selling private label or if you're bundling, you can fill out this G10 application template and include your product description and photo and submit it for approval. If approved, you can avoid having to buy a UPC code, but you'll still have the FNSKU that's required to go on each unit. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up or share it with a friend. I'd love to hear from you too, so leave a comment or a question below. And if you haven't already, join my Amazon Facebook group. There's a link in the description. And for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.